By Jeff Zimmerman at ringside photo Stacy Verbeek Mighty Mo Morris Hooker 2303, 16 Koss retained his WBO/NABO junior welterweight title with a hard-fought unanimous decision against the tough-as-nails Courtney Jackson 171, 10 Koss. Hooker dominated the fight with a solid jab and power shots to the head and body throughout that nearly closed the eyes of Jackson, but somehow Jackson stayed on his feet and came up with a big 10th and final round to make things interesting. Jackson landed a shot to the jaw of Hooker and several others that put a scare in the Hooker crowd, but Hooker showed his championship mettle and finished the fight with big flurries of his own and one going away. The final scores read 10,090 twice and 9,991 for Hooker, who kept his title with a win. Hooker came out from the opening bell looking to establish his long jab and found early success on the short Jackson. Jackson realized early he had to get physical with the lanky Hooker, and by the second round he got inside and landed a few combinations that also resulted in a low blow warning by referee Lawrence Cole. Hooker stayed on the outside during the middle rounds and connected with both body and head shots as Jackson continued to come forward. In the fifth round, Hooker landed a double left hook and had Jackson against the ropes, but somehow Jackson stayed right in front of him as his eyes began to swell. Hooker landed a powerful left hook to the head in the sixth round that staggered Jackson and ended the round with a flurry, but again Jackson stayed on his feet and had no quit in him. It appeared to be a foregone conclusion that Hooker was going to get another win under his belt as he continued to dominate the 7th, 9th rounds, and Jackson had no fight in him, or so it appeared. But in boxing, everything can change with one punch, and in the 10th round, Jackson somehow found a burst of energy and landed a big left hook to the chin of Hooker that also energized the black tie guests that were in attendance for the Links Incorporated fundraiser benefiting Mid-Cities TX chapter. Jackson had Hooker hurt and in trouble and clearly needed a knockout to win. Jackson let his hands go as Hooker did all he could to cover up and just make it to the final bell. But instead of just lasting, Hooker quickly turned the table and put Jackson back on his heels and cruised to victory. Hooker is promoted by Rock Nation and managed by Arnie Verbeek, owner of Maple Avenue Boxing Gym in Dallas, and runs Undercard Promotions. It will be interesting to see where Hooker goes from here, as he has held the WBO/NABO title for over 2 years, and on the same night Terence Crawford unified the 140 pounds class with a big win against Julius Indongo on ESPN. Also in attendance was world-class trainer Derek James, who trains both IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. and WBC super welterweight champion Jermall Charlo. James fought on the very first card for the Links Incorporated 25 years ago, and several others thereafter, as he was recognized in the ring before the fights. Ernesto Delgadillo vs. Valdemar Pagan in an allowed scrap in the co-main event. Flyweights Ernesto Delgadillo 802, 2 Koss, and Valdemar Pagan 812, 7 Koss went toe-to-toe over 6 rounds. Delgadillo, a stocky southpaw, landed some big uppercuts early on while Valdemar countered with big shots to the body. Valdemar found a home for his left hook by the 4th round, and the fight was a seesaw battle from there on out. The judges felt the same way, as the scores read 5,856 for Delgadillo and 5,757 twice, declaring a majority draw. Carlos Adam Jr. vs. Manuel Rubalcaba super featherweight. Carlos Adam Jr. 71, 2 Koss beat free-swinging Manuel Rubalcaba 323 over 4 rounds. The southpaw Adam outboxed Rubalcaba when he stayed on the outside, but when he decided to stay in the pocket with Rubalcaba, he got caught with some big, dangerous shots. In the end, the judges thought Adam showed more skill and gave him the unanimous decision. The scores read 3,937 twice, 4,036, however it was much closer than that. Trevian Marshall vs. David Fabola in the opening fight at the Omni Hotel in downtown Dallas in support of the Links Incorporated benefiting the Mid-Cities TX chapter for community service. Lightweight David Fabola wasted little time against Trevian Marshall as he landed a right to the body and left hook to the head that put Marshall on his backside. Marshall sat there as referee Robert Chapper counted Marshall out as he made no attempt to get up. The time of the KO was 58 seconds of the first round.